Brian Wilson is sitting in a little room somewhere deep in the recesses of the Austin Convention Center, staring intently at the green linoleum floor. His face is blank, his mouth a thin, unmoving line. His biographer turned friend, turned advisor and documentarian, David Leaf, sits nearby, next to Van Dyke Parks, the musician, arranger, songwriter whose career has been inextricably bound to Brian's for nearly 4 decades, though they've rarely seen each other most of that time. David and Van Dyke are chatting mildly about restaurants, friends in common, their plans for the weekend, but the man who brought them together is silent, examining the universe beneath the toes of his black suede Merrill shoes. Soon the three of them, along with a couple of music journalists, will sit on a stage in front of a jammed conference room to discuss Smile, the album Brian and Van Dyke wrote and recorded most of in 1966 and 1967. At the time, just when the Beach Boys' early stream of surf, car, girl-focused songs had given way to Brian's ambitious song cycle, Pet Sounds, and the smash pop art single Good Vibrations, Smile was envisioned as a panoramic commentary on America's tangled past, ambivalent cultural inheritance, and spiritual future. Simultaneously nostalgic, sad, dreamy, and psychedelic, the songs struck those who heard them as a whole new kind of American pop music. Some observers called it the harbinger of a new era in pop culture. Then something happened. Exactly what that something was. Static from the other Beach Boys? Interference from Capitol Records? The corrosive effect of drugs? Brian's own neurological problems, or some combination of the above, has never been resolved. But the aftermath was all too clear. Brian gave up on his musical ambitions and spent most of the next 4 decades adrift. The Beach Boys faded from the scene, only to return as a kind of perpetual motion nostalgia machine, and Smile became a folk legend, a metaphor for everything that had gone wrong with Brian, the Beach Boys, and the nation whose dreams and ideals they had once transformed into shimmering waves of harmony. End of story. Except the story wouldn't end. Even as the years turned, the Beach Boys small and dispirited, the passage of time seemed only to enhance Smile. Hundreds of thousands of words came to be written about its creation and demise, including a science fiction novel whose hero goes back in time and helps Brian finish his masterpiece. Televised biopics and theatrical documentaries told the group's story in various shades of personal, creative, and cultural melodrama, but all came to focus on Brian's dramatic rise and crushing fall, and this story always pivoted off the lost glories of Smile, what it was, what it could have been, why it never came to be. Eventually, Smile, in all of its glorious absence, became something else altogether, and that is why we're here today. David Leaf wants to get something going. So Van Dyke, he says, his eyes gazing past the short, stocky man in the foreground to the taller one sitting just past him. Did you ever think you'd be here at South by Southwest talking about how you finally finished Smile? Van Dyke smiles broadly. It has been a wild ride, he declaims in his storybook Mississippi drawl, and I do need to thank Brian for the opportunity to take it with him. Both men look over at Brian, wondering if he's going to toss in his own observation, perhaps priming the pump for the onstage discussion they're about to have. But Brian is still gazing down at his toes, his face stony and empty. The 2 magazine writers on the panel, Alan Light from Trax and Jason Fine from Rolling Stone, come in, but this only makes Brian seem more disconsolate. He shakes hands, he says hi, but he doesn't even try to smile, and when the festival organizers come to shepherd the gang upstairs to the stage, Brian moves with the dark resignation of a man headed for the gallows.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.